the environment. Okay, Dev also has a service principal, but currently it's not implemented on Dev. We'll try to implement it on Dev eventually. Okay, uh, each job is having a separate job.yaml file. Okay, to make them configurable. And environment variables are used to pass. Okay, all of these things I think it's better to be explained through Visual Code only. Okay, so let me start with the Visual Code first. Okay, this is a test environment. We don't have anything set up on Dev. Okay, but I'll tell you how exactly it works on test at the moment, because whatever we do, we currently pull the data from Dev and then only we push it to test. Okay. So there are a few factors to be considered in Visual Studio Code. First is the repo. Okay, repository. This is our test repository. We also have one repository for production. Okay, so if I check out our production repository, it will be having a complete different set of check-ins. So this is a check-in graph where we can see what changes were pushed to production. Okay, as soon as I change it to test, this particular folder is going to pull the data for test. Now you can see it's completely changed. Okay, it's now showing me what we have pushed in test at the moment. Okay, so how a repository looks like. We are currently on GitHub. Under AZU commercial IT, we are having one repository, CM-IMX CE-DBX. Okay, this repository is our main repository. It handles all the code which has been pushed to test and prod. Okay, it also has one folder as for dev. It's a branch basically for the dev. So, but our main use for this repository is for test and prod at the moment. But you can see, right, there are multiple branches here. So each branch will be showing you different timeline of that particular code. Okay, so say prod is my main branch. Okay, this is my main branch. It will have one set of code. Okay, now say I have replicated prod code on all of the branches, but now my test branch, which is always going to be ahead of my prod branch, because test will have more changes which haven't been moved to prod. Okay, similarly, if we start pushing our changes to dev, dev is another branch which has been copied from our main branch. Dev is again going to be further ahead than prod and test, because dev are having the most changes which haven't been moved to test and which haven't been moved to prod. So the dev branch structure for the source of our notebooks and resources, right? This will be always be more frequently updated than test and prod. If we move it, if we see the version of test, now this is the version of test for the same folder, it will have lesser changes compared to dev. Okay, and prod is the final. Prod is the final version of our main branch, which is the absolute version. Here, everything which is here is deployed to our production at the moment. Whatever, so if I go into the source folder, okay, in source folder, I am having one NBs folder, okay, and inside it, I am having all of my notebooks. So these are our country level notebooks. Then we have, say, let's open one notebook. It's a non-cumulative activity rep level raw data, okay. So this notebook is having one version on production. So that is the final version of it, because that has been deployed to prod. Okay, but that might not be the same as test as of moment. If anyone has changed anything in the non-cumulative activity rep level raw data and it is currently on test, even this Git repository will show you that it has been it is the whatever the state of that particular file is, it will show you. Okay, so I'm not sure if we have any example at the moment, because our test is currently almost in sync with the prod. But again, test is going to have.
One second, if you could,
yeah.
Maybe after this explanation, if you could show us how actually you're doing it, right from Databricks to creating your bundles using the VS Code, from the developer to GitHub. So if you could show some process, I mean, let's say we can create one notebook, a dummy notebook, okay? Need not be any of the existing KPI, something like that. We can create table notebook, okay? Something like that. It can be dummy.
Sure.
We'll try to push it from Dev to UAT, so that everyone will be familiarized how it can be done. That process flow, whatever you explained through PPT, that is completely fine. But we would like to see that.
Sure.
That will give more clarity and confidence, right?
Sure, Ramesh, no problem. Yeah, I'm going. Like I was coming
Maybe
to demo part after this.
if you're not planned for this session, means I'm okay. We can have another call for this, and you can prepare something for the live demo, and we can do it there.
No problem, Ramesh. It's I was anyway going to tell at least the DDL and notebook part after I have done like the explanation for this, like how it exactly looks like. Yeah. We can do it like the second of like 5-10 minutes. In next 5 minutes, we can do it. I'll just explain like how to navigate on the Git, like how exactly it looks like. Okay. So yeah, so code part is basically what we have just done, and this is the actions. Okay, so actions are nothing but the work which I mentioned. So we have deployed Databricks bundle, which will deploy the bundle, and then we have another workflow which is run DDL. Okay, yeah. So let go through a process itself one time. What I'm going to do is I'll maybe write some a test notebook. Okay, what I'll write is select get it. Okay, so this is simply going to print a get it. Okay, now I'll say that notebook is test get it NB. Okay, now let's put this one into a job. Okay, I hope everyone knows how to create a job. So get it job. What we are going to do is we are going to add a notebook which you have recently created. Get it NB task. We'll take serverless only at the moment and we'll create this. Okay, so this one has a job. Whenever I run it, it's going to show me get it. Okay, so it's showing me to test it. So now we have run this job. What I can do, how we can get this job migrated to test now. Okay, I need to get the get date job because all of our scripts which bring the job level details are written based on the job. We cannot get the notebooks directly because our Databricks asset bundle it gives us a command to generate notebooks based on jobs. Okay, so what we can do, we have copied the job name which we have created against. We can simply put our job name here, and then we can run this particular script, get generate job. Okay, so this script we have written. We can okay, currently it's not allowing me because of it's been I haven't authenticated it recently. So okay, so now we can run it, and we will be able to generate the notebook behind it, and also a script for the job, which is a YAML file. Okay, now how this thing works is it works using the job YAML. So it creates a separate YAML file for job. Okay, you can see file successfully saved to test get date nb, and it has also created get date job.yaml file. Now we can see all of those two files created here. One is the test get date nb which we created. Okay. Yeah, so we have written this script in such a way that we will be able to remove anything a catalog specific from our select. So if we have written a hard-coded GLBL com IMX div dot GLBL CBR ADS, right? So that hard-coded values will get removed, and then it will, instead of that, it will add a catalog name thing, so that we'll be able to run this on any environment. If it goes to test, we'll be able to run it on test. If it goes to prod, we'll be able to run it on prod. Okay, now I have moved it notebook to an NB folder because our workflow which we have written, the workflow which I shown it here, right? Get deploy database bundle, it will always take this from source and NB. So all the notebook for changes, it will take from this particular folder. Resources, we have job.yaml. Job.yaml will give us all the job related changes. But if you see now, just one thing I'll like to show. Okay, if I go to here, here it's going to show me a simple YAML. But if I come here, the YAML is a bit updated. It's going to update the notebook path. It's going to take it from a variable, because that's how we have written our generate job script. It's going to replace everything to parameterize it properly, because everything which is coming from this GitHub, right, it will be parameterized and put into our job.yaml once this job runs on any different environment. So we are also changing the catalog name and environment, which will be again get sent to the first cell which we saw in the notebook, right? So these two will be sent there. So these kind of changes are getting updated when we create a job.yaml file. Now I'm putting it into a job.yaml. So all of our YAML files are here. Everything related to jobs, okay, in this resource folder.jobs. Okay. Now I put both of this. Now what's going to happen is, once as soon as I commit these changes, it's going to create a local copy of it, and as soon as I push these changes to test, it's going to trigger this deploy database bundle. I'll show you how it works. I'll just discard changes for generate job, or else we'll just keep it, no problem. Job. Just before committing these changes, I just want to ask, we don't have any changes which are not on dev but have been moved to test directly. Are there any changes for notebooks or anything which are directly made on test? Because this part is going to deploy the whole bundle on test. Okay, I hope no one has made any such changes, right? Okay then. So I'll commit this change. Okay, so now it has created a local copy of my check-in. Okay, test job deployment is script. It's not currently, it's showing one push needs to be done, but commit has happened. Okay, but push hasn't been done. The same concept we were looking into. Okay, now it's going to directly put into origin.test. So once I sync these changes, it's going to push it to the test version, and it's going to deploy the whole bundle there. Okay, now as soon as I push these changes, yeah, it's been pushed, so no further changes are available here. So now we will be able to see our workflow getting started. So this is the CD part of it. We didn't manually run the workflow, right? It automatically took the changes and it automatically started. So that is the continuous deployment part of it, of the CI/CD. Now it's putting the whole bundle on test. As soon as we push the bundle, all the notebooks and everything which was a part of this repository is going to get deployed on test. It might take a while, and almost around a minute or so, but as soon as it deploys, we'll be able to see that job has been job is available on test, and with the same notebook with the same structure. Okay. So we'll just wait for that to happen. It's still deploying. Usually it gets completed somewhere around 1.5 minutes. In that time, we'll just keep open the job. Yeah, and the same process um, we follow. But here, while moving from test to prod, we don't have to worry about again getting the files using this generate job or generate TDLs and move it to prod. Other than rather than doing that, we can simply first let me show you how it's deployed there. Then we can check for the prod deployment. Okay, it's deployed now. So test job deployment has been done. So now if I go here and yeah, you can see the gate job, right? Even before refresh, it showed me. Uh, yeah, so gate job is here. So now if I run this job, open this, it's again same thing. Okay, whatever we saw it here in this run, right? It's going to do that. It's going to run this and show me the date. And everything now here the only change is we are having the catalog change because from our databricks.yaml, which is available on our code level code folder, right, that is going to trigger in and that is going to get the catalog name and the environment name for it. So now it has taken it as a test. Okay, even if I haven't hard coded anywhere here that a test environment is here, it still has run properly. Okay, it has taken it. So you can see here catalog name and environment, it has automatically taken it as test and environment as test from the parameter.
1 second, I need to drop off another call. I just missed it. It's 4 minutes overflow. So you just continue with the explanation. I will watch the recording and I will get back to you if I have any questions.
Sure, Ramesh, no problem.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, and one more thing here is for each job that we write, we create a job level cluster. Okay, that job level cluster basically it starts when the job starts and it gets terminated when the job ends. So now you can see the cluster is terminating immediately after the job has been run. For each job this will happen. Okay, so that's how the cluster configuration is for. So that cluster configuration you can see it into the job level YAML. Okay, so this is the job YAML which I have deployed, but here we are using serverless, so it hasn't shown. But even if it's not shown, it's a job level cluster itself. If you go to any other job file, so say bronze layer job, okay, bronze layer job, you can see a job cluster has been specifically created. It has, we have given a node type, how large we want this cluster to be, what policy ID which we are using. Okay, even this policy ID is often coming from our secrets, from our repo. So our repo basically handles all these secrets, and also all the parameters basically are coming from our repo to the job and from the job to the notebook. Okay, that's how the hierarchy of it is. Yeah, so that's how the job.yaml looks like. Now the next part, how to deploy this one on production. Currently I won't go and deploy it on production because currently we are having a job run on production at the moment. Okay, we don't want to change anything which is currently on prod, and what it will do is it will deploy everything from the repo, prod repo to prod. But I'll tell you the method which we follow to deploy it. What we normally do is we are having a git command called git cherry pick. Okay, what it does is if I copy a commit ID, okay, and if I check out the prod branch, if I write git cherry pick and put this commit ID, as soon as I press enter, it's going to commit it for the prod branch. This same change which we saw on test, right? Exactly same change. The notebook, the jobs, any configuration related to that, it's going to take this commit ID, it's going to push it on prod. and as soon as we sync it with prod, it's going to do the same deployment which we have seen for test, right? The same deployment is going to happen on production. So this is the way we follow. Here for deploying on prod, we don't follow the method which we use for test to bring that from dev, check it, manually replace it in notebook folder and WhatsApp resource job folder. We don't have to do that. We simply need to get cherry pick, get the commit ID for test and push it. As soon as we click here, it's going to commit, and then we need to just sync. Once we sync, it will push the code to production and it will trigger this deployment on production. Okay. So that's how currently I won't be doing it, but
Just one question I have.
yeah.
So is this something it was predefined, or you did this configuration that you do not have to do the same things again in prod?
It's a predefined. Git cherry pick is a predefined command. Yeah, we don't have it's a Git command itself.
Okay.
But we need to have the branches properly set for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Our prod and our test should be having exact similar kind of repo. Our repo should be exactly same. We cannot git cherry pick from one repo to another folder. We need to have the same folder. Yeah. Basically. Okay. So that's how the deployments are basically get executed. Okay, you can see here our notebook job is also been deployed. Okay. We'll eventually delete it, but now using the asset bundles, yeah, sorry, it's called declarative automation bundles now. Okay, it's not Databricks asset bundle now. Okay, what we see normally here is in a Databricks asset bundle is you cannot go and change configuration of a job that easily as you can do it on a normal environment where asset bundle has not been implemented. So if I go here, I immediately created a job here and tag the notebook and all, right? I cannot do the same thing here. If I go here in the task, it won't allow me to update any task. Yeah, you can see everything is blurred out. Why it says it? Because this task was deployed as a part of bundle. We have to edit in the source itself and then redeploy it so that our changes get reflected here. But that's not the same thing here. If I go here, I can simply go into task, even I can delete this job, yeah? Everything is editable to me. But that's not the same thing with asset bundles once I use asset bundle to deploy it. But what good thing about asset bundle is I can do changes to all the notebooks and all the jobs, and within single clip of this 2 minutes time, it will deploy everything together onto test. Okay, I don't have to manually do anything. If I have made changes to 10 notebooks and 10 jobs, or added different notebooks, updated few notebooks, whatever I have done, it will go as a package together. Okay, and along with that, we also have an option to change a DDL. Okay, we have kept all of our tables, schemas, everything into asset bundles. So say in approved document D, I have to make some changes into column, and along with that, I have also made changes to some notebooks. All of this will go as a single package and it will get deployed here. It just a different workflow will run for DDL and a different workflow will run for the notebooks and jobs, which is deployed database bundle. But again, it will be as a part of single package. Okay, so that's how we have done it. Yeah, I think that's the overall explanation for all of this. Any questions?